And action.
Hey, it's Ryan. I'm here today with Cody. We're putting another Redneck blind up in the air. Today we're going to show you the strategies and techniques that we use in order to put these things up.
You got it, bro.
Bring the tools over.
Okay. This is a level.
Okay.
Sledgehammer. Makita.
What size?
9/16 on that Makita.
Alright, so real quick, right before we get going, if you guys would, please go like, subscribe, and then leave us a comment with any questions. First thing you're going to want to do is either rent or get a hold of somebody that has a skid loader. Makes the process go a whole lot easier. So we bring out a bucket and forks, come through, get our pad site dug. That's what the bucket is used for, and then the forks are obviously for transporting the blind itself. Underneath here, in between the forks, we use a 2x6 board to go across the bottom so your forks do not go into the bottom of your blind. From there, you come back over and kind of look at your pile, which should have already been organized by now. Line out all your stuff that you're going to need in order to stay efficient and know where things are at with it. There's some tools that you do need. We always grab a couple extras. Use a impact 9/16 wrench. So both of those get you a level, sledgehammer, and then again kind of a couple extra on the wrenches so that you can both be working on fastening things at the same time or whatever. What was the other wrench, Cody?
You're gonna have to use a 7/16 socket as well. Comes in for a few other little things, but majority of everything is a 9/16. That goes for all the bolts for the legs and the frame, and everything's all 9/16.
Dig site's been done. Everything's laid out. We're ready to roll. Another thing you're gonna want to do is install your base before you bring it to field. That's like, do that once you get delivered at your house, all that, install that base. And it's gonna save some time. So now as we start constructing it, the first thing you do is you put on these handrails on the platform here. If you'd wait to do it at the end, it's
a lot harder at the end.
A lot harder. It's already elevated, so we knock that out first.
Yep.
And then we start putting legs on.
The legs are all labeled too. Something new that Redneck's done, makes it a lot easier, is the legs are either labeled L for lower, and then it'll say lower top to let you know which way it goes, and then for the top ones it'll have a U for the upper leg and the top, and then as far as everything else goes, it'll all be size according to make it all fit.
Alright, we got the handrails on. Cody's bringing it up so we can put the upper top braces on. Bolt, washer, good. And then goes through, washer, lock washer. So that's the process. So you got to make sure you put all of the bolts from the inside out so you can get your wrenches around correctly. If you go the opposite way, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but we put all of ours
Facing out.
facing out.
So now that we've got our top legs are all bolted up here, everything's still somewhat loose, just snug enough that it stays up there. Then you got bracing that comes with it as well. That'll come down here to these other spots here. There's a spot here where it'll run to both sections. So before we get it up too high and out of our reach, we'll go ahead and put on the first section here and let it hang down. Then we can raise up the stand, and then we will get our bottom section put together, and we can tie all the braces together.
Are those the same bolts?
Yep, all the same bolts, 9/16.
Cross braces.
These legs here, which is going to be our lower section of legs, top side of it, is you're going to bolt up to here. But when you're bolting these up too, you got to keep in mind you're going to have cross bracing that goes through with it as well, and it'll go through the top bolt hole of this. So before you put your bolts in there, make sure you get your brace in this hole. These lower legs are putting on. Got these braces here that will connect the legs and goes all the way around. You want to make sure you don't put all your bolts in first and leave out this brace. So we go ahead and get that in first. That way we don't miss it. And then we can go all the way around, do that on all of them. And then we'll come through the second bolt and put it on the other side of the leg. Top side's all done. We've now joined the bottom brace here. These two join together in this middle brace. Bolt up together. They run down here. Nothing you gotta watch. So if you don't do it right, you'll have to unbolt and redo everything. But there's another brace that goes down across the bottom.
One end ties in on the bracing, the other one doesn't. But now this front one here goes together in this corner, so then that one won't. So just pay attention or you will be redoing a few things.
Is together. Ryan's getting ready to go ahead and start tightening everything down. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting our feet on. Your feet only go one way, obviously. Hole's gonna be to the outside where your stakes go, that you'll drive it through there. They go up in here, and then you'll put your bolts through. Locks, washers, just like you did everything else. And then you're gonna be ready to go ahead and get it set. And that's where the level comes in. There may be a little bit you have to do shovel-wise underneath some of the feet, maybe just a little bit.
Depends on who's cutting.
But it shouldn't be too bad.
Depends on who's cutting.
You got any washers, Ryan?
I'm just a jokester, dude. I'm a freaking jokester.
Yep.
So the next process we'll do, Ryan's almost got everything tightened up on that. Got to put our ladder together. You got these braces here that'll go in each side on the inside of them. Now before you bolt all those up completely, you want to make sure that you put your rail on the outside with it. It'll go into one of the holes as well, so if you do it without putting that on, you'll end up taking another bolt out and then putting it back. So just keep that in mind, that this railing needs to go and bolt in at the same time that these all bolt up together. And then after that, then we'll be able to put our ladder on the platform up there.
Alright, so we're putting on the feet. The ladder's coming to an end. It's a pretty short process. You got a couple hangers up there that you got to fasten in, handrail, and then where the two ladder sections meet, and then put on these little extenders for the feet, so then you can again run your stakes through it, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, and comment with any questions. Just let her rip over there. Yeah, I mean literally.
That's what you said.
I'm about to leave my hard hat. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get the level out, I know that.
Here we go.
You want to explain what you're doing?
Yeah, so we're just putting the level on it, seeing exactly where we're at, and then basically just come through.
How bad is it?
He'll kind of lift up a side, and then we'll just scrape a little out.
From right there, it don't look too bad, just that back leg.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad at all. You can see it's really close, but we just come through, set the level on all sides, get your left or right. Yeah, I think all we'll do is just scrape out a little underneath with the shovel.
Is that one neater, or is it that back one?
This one's high. I think we can just lower that one. Everything. I think if we lower that one, everything will come into place. Alright, so the stairs are hung. You're going to take these up. They are slip through up there just to ensure that this thing isn't going to come undone either. It's a quick detach system, so like if you want to, you can go ahead and take this down during the off season and store it away so then nobody can actually access your blind. So it's a nice little feature they did. Cody's going to drive in the stakes and then we're going to tighten it up and be done.
The legs are all staked in the ground now. Ryan's completed up there with his steps, getting the pins in there. We're going to set our middle anchor point. It'll have a cable that'll run from the anchor to the center of the base. Just holds tension on it just for wind. Then after that we'll be done. Should be ready to go.
Cable up there to the top. A little spot they got made for it. It's going to come back down through this onto there. This is where you'll need that smaller wrench that we talked about earlier. After that, project complete. So leave us a comment below, like I said, on questions, but if there's some other how-to that y'all want to see us do, we'd be glad to do it. So leave us a comment below. We'll choose somebody. We'll probably send you a hat or a t-shirt, one or the other. So leave us a comment, and thanks for watching. Alright, well that's a wrap on another Redneck install. If you guys have other blinds you like, leave us a comment below. Tell us what other ones you guys use or like. Pretty simple process here. Just take your time, be detail oriented, really don't fasten things down until
Make sure everything's where it needs to be before you fasten it and tighten everything down, or you'll be taking bolts out and putting stuff back in there. But other than that, it's pretty simple. It goes up pretty quick.
Yeah, Redneck makes it really a smooth process to do it yourself, or 2 guys is ideal, 3's even better. Anything more than 3 to me is just too many people, really.
Yeah.
You don't need that many hands on deck. 3's really nice. 2's certainly doable. I think you could probably do it yourself, a guy like Cody who's done a bunch of them. But anyway, that's that. Redneck blind up in the sky, and plant food plot around it, and hopefully get a kid or somebody on a deer.